Morning to all the viewers of NDTV. Delhi is waking up to its chief minister presently in ED custody. He was arrested around 10 p.m. last evening, and it's unprecedented because Arvind Kejriwal has not resigned. He still holds the chief minister's chair. His party says that he will continue to govern Delhi from jail. As we said that this is for the first time a sitting chief minister is presently in custody. In case of Hemant Soren, who was also a sitting chief minister arrested by the ED, he had submitted his resignation to the governor. Arvind Kejriwal and his party has decided to brazen it out. He has got support from the entire India bloc. All of these have called it murder of democracy and some kind of conspiracy in the run-up to elections. What all should we expect today? What next for Arvind Kejriwal? What next for Aam Aadmi Party? And this is clearly a constitutional crisis towards which Delhi is heading. We'll be joined by lawyers in just a bit. But first up, let me get a ground update from Sunil Prabhu, who's joining me live for all the updates related to the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court will be taking up that case shortly. And also Vedant Agarwal, who's joining me from AAP headquarters at ITO. Vedant, all the roads leading to DDU, that is Deen Dayal Upadhyay Marg, have been blocked. The Aam Aadmi Party plans to take this battle to street, even as they plan to fight it out in the judicial space as well. But politically speaking, what are you seeing there? Have Aam Aadmi Party workers started gathering?
Well, Maria, what we are being told by party sources is that all leaders from the smallest party Karyakarta to the most senior most ministers, all of them have been summoned summarily to the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters here right behind me, where they will be gathering at about 10 a.m. is what we are being told. And this is the DDU mark that leads up to the BJP headquarters as well, as you're well aware. And the Aam Aadmi Party leaders will march towards the BJP headquarters. As you said, they plan to take it to the streets, not just in Delhi, but also in Punjab, in Goa, in Haryana, and even Madhya Pradesh, where the Aam Aadmi Party sort of ambitiously had fielded candidates on almost all seats. Let me show you something very interesting here, though, Maria. These were banners of Arvind Kejriwal right outside the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters, and they've been covered in this white cloth. All these banners showcasing Arvind Kejriwal, his work, all of them have been covered in white cloth outside the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters. So this is perhaps symbolic of the kind of constitutional crisis, as you said, that Delhi is headed towards. Because remember, a sitting chief minister being arrested is truly unprecedented, and the security preparations made here as well. Heavy barricading, layers and layers of barricading, as you can see. This is the road that leads up to the BJP headquarters as well. This has been entirely barricaded. Section 144 is in place. There's constant police patrolling as well, as you can see. Senior police officials monitoring the situation, and this entire area has almost been cordoned off because there's barricading on all sides, because there's huge mobilizations planned by the Aam Aadmi Party. As we've been reporting since yesterday, as far as governance is concerned, it's not going to affect the Aam Aadmi Party, because remember, cabinet meetings, etc. were mostly chaired by senior ministers of the Aam Aadmi Party. And what we're picking up from the party right now, Maria, is that the focus right now is to keep the organization intact and keep the morale of the cadre high, because this is election time, which is why the ministers will be addressing workers here and supporters of the Aam Aadmi Party at the party headquarters, making sure that their morale is high and they're not demotivated or disillusioned, but they plan to take it to the streets, and they will be marching not just towards the BJP headquarters, but also towards the ED headquarters and Rajghat as well, is what we're picking up, Mara.
Yes, from MK Stalin to Mamata Banerjee to Pinarayi Vijayan to just about every leader, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, all of them coming out in support of Arvind Kejriwal. But the larger question is, what are his judicial options? What can Arvind Kejriwal do? Can he continue to hold that post? And can he, because the jail manual says clearly, Sunil, that any official who has been arrested has to be suspended or perhaps has to resign. He cannot perform his duties from jail. What are you picking up, Sunil? What is going to be Aam Aadmi Party's legal strategy?
Well, they are already approached the Supreme Court. They will mention it today, and we'll have to see whether the Chief Justice of India is accommodative and which bench he puts it forward. There is already a petition of Kavitas, which is before a special bench of Justice Sanjeev Khanna, Bela Trivedi, and others. So there is definitely some hope that it might get a mentioning today, but whether he get relief or not is a big question mark. And as you rightly pointed out, this is the first time a sitting chief minister has been arrested. There has been a case earlier of Jayalalitha when she was convicted. There, it was for the disproportionate case, and she was immediately taken to jail. And of course, at that time, she appointed O. Pannirselvam, her finance minister, as the chief minister, and the rest, of course, she of course got her stay of and got acquitted in that case. But that was a different precedent. That was of a conviction. Here, it is of an arrest. What we are told is the Director General Jails had briefed Mr. Arvind Kejriwal about the point that he cannot continue as chief minister because the jail manual will not allow him to sign files and everything else. But this is clearly something that the Aam Aadmi Party wants to create, a constitutional crisis to really send a message across the fight between the Lieutenant Governor and the Delhi BJP versus the Aam Aadmi Party, because ultimately, as you are well aware, and most people in Delhi are aware, we have been facing polluted air, we have been facing no governance from both sides, and ultimately the people of Delhi have been the ultimate sufferer, and they will continue to do so in this constitutional crisis.
Yes, Sunil, and 2 kilometers from where I am, which is the Vijay Chowk in the national capital, is where the ED headquarters is. And that is APJ Abdul Kalam, where Aishwarya is. We'll be joined. In fact, I'll be taking some questions with our guests who have made an effort to come early morning here. Ashwini Dubey, lawyer of the Supreme Court. We also have Anurag Verma to talk about the politics. How will it be playing out and what does it mean for a party supremo to be arrested on corruption case when the entire party was formed on the plank of anti-corruption? Is it the end of road of Aam Aadmi Party? Lot of uncertainty that the party stares at from now onwards. But first up, Aishwarya, the ED headquarters has at present, of course, Arvind Kejriwal. What are your sources telling you? He was brought in roughly around 11:30 p.m. last evening. What all did he do in the custody of the Enforcement Directorate?
Well, Maria, I must say that Enforcement Directorate headquarters remains the most sensitive location currently in the national capital. Sitting Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal spent whole night in the lockup at the ground floor at Enforcement Directorate headquarters amid of heavy security in and around the APJ Abdul Kalam Road or the other road that is just adjacent to the Enforcement Directorate headquarters. Now, it is just not Arvind Kejriwal who is at the Enforcement Directorate headquarters, but K. Kavita as well, who was arrested just few days back, and she is also inside the very same Enforcement Directorate headquarters in the national capital. Now, what we've been told is that soon after, at around 11:30 last night, when Arvind Kejriwal was brought at the Enforcement Directorate headquarters, his medical examination was done. A team of doctors from RML Hospital went inside and did a medical checkup. Today morning as well, another checkup will be done by the team of doctors from RML Hospital of Arvind Kejriwal before he will be produced to the court. Let me show you quick visuals around of the Enforcement Directorate headquarters. There has been heavy security, barricades still being put up. Senior Delhi police officials are on the spot, and they are looking at this current situation of law and order, because there has been calls which have been made to the Aam Aadmi Party cadres as well as the Aam Aadmi Party senior leaders at the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters as well. And therefore, the reason perhaps looking at that situation to avoid any sort of law and order problem, heavy security has been made and entire ED headquarters have been completely blocked. Section 144 has also been imposed in and around the area of Enforcement Directorate headquarters. Certainly, we have been told that it would be somewhere around 11 or 11:30 a.m. when Arvind Kejriwal will be taken physically to Rouse Avenue Court, where Enforcement Directorate will seek further custody of Mr. Kejriwal as far as the
officials and sources in the Enforcement Directorate is concerned, they clearly had been stating that Arvind Kejriwal needs to be confronted with other Aam Aadmi Party senior leaders who were earlier arrested, including Manish Sisodia, Sanjay Singh and K. Kavita, for that matter, in the alleged Delhi liquor policy case.
Yes, a member of, excuse me, a member of parliament, deputy chief minister, former deputy chief minister, and now the chief minister of Delhi. All leaders of Aam Aadmi Party and all facing the same charge of conspiracy in the Delhi liquor policy. What will happen today becomes important, and what are the options before Arvind Kejriwal? I would request all the reporters to continue to be with us. Ashwini Dubey of the Supreme Court is with us. Ashwini, what are the options before Mr. Kejriwal? And when a petition of this nature comes before the court, of course it was listed last evening, but it was not taken up for urgent hearing.
This once the arrest has been made, so the yesterday's petition has become infructuous, because that petition was where he had challenged the summons issued by the Enforcement Directorate asking that you protect me, I will join the investigation. Moment he is arrested, that matter is over. Now he has to move a fresh bail application. He has a right to apply for the bail. But so far as the PMLA is special statute passed by the parliament, where the agency has a reason to believe that this person has committed an offence which is punishable under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. This is one. Second, the interrogation of all the accused sitting together. If you remember, there is an ongoing investigation in the Delhi excise policy, allegedly where the corruption has taken place, and K. Kavita has also been arrested. After the arrest of the K. Kavita, it is certain new evidences has come, and for that the ED wants to interrogate. Third, it is not once but 9th time summons were issued by the ED to Honorable Chief Minister, where he escaped all the summons. But authority, the law of the land and the constitutional provision also wants, if summons are issued by any agency to appear before the agency, that person has a legal obligation to approach, but he escaped all the summons. This is also one of the reasons. Third and foremost, if you remember the Vijay Madan Lal case, the Supreme Court 3 judges bench has also already uphold the powers of the ED to arrest any person. So it is not the proceeds of crime is there. Arvind Kejriwal ji has an option to apply for the bail, but in this case, bail is not a rule. Yeah.
Oh, yes. What makes PMLA so difficult, and particularly after the changes which have been brought in by the law?
PMLA, the PMLA is an act where the proceeds of crime, hawala transaction, money laundering, black money, terrorist money or other corruptions which has been institutionalized. And for this investigation is taking place, and there is a difference between the CBI and ED, because CBI there are two consent. One consent, the general consent, and second is the specific consent. Because certain states have withdrawn their consents which were given to the central government to investigate to the CBI, and here the ED does not need any consent. It's a law which has been passed by the parliament way back and amended by the Finance Act. So this gives ample powers to the officials to ask for, to interrogate, to reach for a conclusion that whether any corruption has taken place, what are the proceeds of crime, who are the persons involved. So, and the Supreme Court has also already...
Actually, what we saw yesterday was also that the ED officials reached Mr. Kejriwal's official residence perhaps hours after the Delhi High Court refused to give any kind of protection for his arrest.
Yeah, that is what the Delhi High Court issued notice. It is not that any relief was not given, because the notice was issued to the ED, and Honorable Delhi High Court on its wisdom has asked the ED that what are the grounds which you have before you, and for the reasons that he has committed such an offence, you inform us. And in the meantime, matter was posted for next hearing. ED officials reached at his residence and immediately arrested him.
Okay. So let's talk about the politics of it, because this is playing out in two spaces. Of course, on the streets of Delhi, as Aam Aadmi Party looks at mobilization and for Girawing the BJP office. It's playing out in the Supreme Court, where that petition which was filed by Aam Aadmi Party today stands infructuous. Mr. Kejriwal has got support from all parties which form the India bloc. But talking about the Aam Aadmi Party, here is a party which was formed in 2011. It comes to power with great expectations. There are a lot of promises that are made. Arvind Kejriwal, a former bureaucrat, becomes the chief minister. And this is seen as the great hope of Delhi. But here is the chief minister who has been arrested on charges of corruption, the alleged charges of corruption. And the party was formed on anti-corruption plank.
Maria, whenever it comes to Arvind Kejriwal, I always remember one thing. When he joined politics, he said, we are here to change the politics. हम यहाँ राजनीति करने नहीं, राजनीति बदलने आए हैं. And today, after 10 years, half of their important leaders are in jail. This is how Arvind Kejriwal has changed Indian politics. Probably that was he was meaning this only.
But Anurag, the question is, the opposition is not misplaced in questioning the timing of it. The fact is that there is one sitting chief minister who had to resign and he was arrested, Hemant Soren. Now, in matter of 50 days, there is another chief minister who's behind bars.
Maria, the timing is, you can question timing, but another point is that this was the ninth summon. First summon was issued somewhere in November first week. Then also he has said that the summon was issued just to hamper his campaign in Madhya Pradesh. He gave this reason.
If the opposition is behind bars, then where will the election be?
But Maria, one thing is clear. If ED has issued a summon, any other politician, if talk of any other politician, he can use legal options to evade ED or CBI or anybody. But person like Arvind Kejriwal, who joined politics to change the politics, or who joined politics on the ground of honesty and rajniti mein shuchita, ki jis jo baat karte hain, when he joined politics on these ground.
For cleaning up politics, here was Arvind Kejriwal who had joined politics for cleaning up politics. I'm going to come back to you, Ashwini, also because I want to understand how fair is this charge of misuse of agencies which are being levelled in a united way by the opposition. But first, let me go back to Vedant and get a sense of what is the Aam Aadmi Party planning to do today. Vedant, a late night press conference roughly around 12 midnight, and now again we are seeing that Aam Aadmi Party realizing that there has to be much more than just a legal battle for Mr Kejriwal.
Absolutely, Maria. They have to make a political point and galvanize supporters. In fact, here on the ground, let me show you the kind of preparations. Just now we saw an anti-riot vehicle. 2 anti-riot vehicles have also been brought here. There are sort of water cannons in place already. So the Delhi police leaving nothing to chance. There are 4 anti-riot vehicles that have been deployed here, Maria, right outside the BJP headquarters in anticipation of huge mobilizations, huge protests. A bus full of, police officials has already arrived here. We are being told that rapid action force is also being brought here. So there you can see more and more anti-riot vehicles now here being brought in here to make sure that they're prepared fully, because it's an extremely sensitive situation with a sitting chief minister being arrested. Now quickly coming to your point, so of course Atishi made it clear yesterday that we have to keep our morale high and they have to take this battle to the streets. While of course they're smart enough to fight the battle legally, they have to make sure that this is the timing is crucial. It's a run-up to the elections, and Arvind Kejriwal, many would say, has spread himself too thin by campaigning in various states. He's been extensively campaigning in Gujarat, in Punjab, in Haryana, in Madhya Pradesh. He even fielded candidates in the northeast in the assembly polls. So of course he was looking to make inroads and expand the tentacles of the party to new states. But of course the star campaigner, Arvind Kejriwal, more than being an administrative head of Delhi, was a star campaigner of the Aam Aadmi Party. He was a vote catcher, and that man has been now arrested. So the supporters and the cadre has to be kept intact, which is what is the focus right now, Maria.
Yes, that's right. That's going to be a huge challenge for Aam Aadmi Party, because Delhi goes to polls also in assembly, in 2025. So there is going to be a big challenge for Aam Aadmi Party. But Arvind Kejriwal is the Chief Minister of Delhi. He still holds that designation. And that brings me to Ashwini again. Arvind Kejriwal, unlike chief ministers in the past who faced corruption allegations, be it Lalu Yadav or Jayalalitha or others, even Hemant Soren recently, they resigned. But Mr Kejriwal's party is saying that he was the chief minister, he'll continue to be the chief minister.
And they have passed a resolution in the Vidhan Sabha also to this effect. But so far as the legal provisions are concerned, Maria, and if you see the Constitution has no express provision which says that a chief minister or a minister, if arrested, has to resign. And second, there is no immunity to the chief minister as per the
So you're saying that there is no provision in the Constitution that a sitting chief minister has to quit before being arrested? Or if he is in jail, can he continue?
No, he can continue, but there are certain jail manuals. Because jail is run by under the jail manual, Delhi Presence Act. Delhi Presence Act, if it permits that a person who has been arrested can hold the office, then only in that circumstances. That's absolutely a legal question. Legal interpretation is involved. But if we see the constitutional post, the constitutional provisions, the constitution does not say the chief minister or minister, if arrested, he has to resign. Number one. With Nawab Malik's case, we have seen the Nawab Malik hold the post for so many months. He was inside the jail. Satyan Jain's case, we have also seen. And then when the matter went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court also that time said that, look, it's the party decision or the cabinet decision whether a person has to resign or not. But only
Chief Minister is the head of the cabinet.
that's what I'm saying. But here the question is not the constitution, it's the ethics, the morality, the proprietary, and also the democracy. Because to run the government, one has to be out. He has to meet the people. He has to see what development charges are taking place. That too, he is inside the jail. There are certain protocols which are given to the chief minister. How the officials inside the jail will manage this thing. This is one. Second thing, that the cabinet or the officers who will visit there, how will they report? What will the ground
Yes,
out?
there cannot be any filing of files either. That's what Sunil was reporting, that the jail manual is very clear that anybody inside jail cannot sign files. But coming to you, Aishwarya, who all are part of Arvind Kejriwal's legal team? We believe it is being led by senior advocate Abhishek Manu Singhvi. Who else are part of his team?
Well, senior leaders, including Abhishek Manu Singhvi and the team of Arvind Kejriwal, including Jasmine Shah, who had taken care of the entire operations as far as what the legal consultation is with, who had been a part of Aam Aadmi Party as well. Along with him, the entire strategy is being prepared by Aam Aadmi Party. On one side, they are approaching Supreme Court for some sort of relief. On the other, it would be at the Rouse Avenue Court, where Arvind Kejriwal will be produced. The Enforcement Directorate will be seeking further custody. But yesterday, it all came after a setback in the Delhi High Court, and that's what the strategy was. After 9 summons which was served to Arvind Kejriwal, he refused to appear, and Aam Aadmi Party constantly calling these summons illegal, according to them, because according to Aam Aadmi Party, these Enforcement Directorate summons were sent at a time when the entire matter was sub judice, to which the Delhi High Court yesterday stated that they can't give any sort of protection or interim relief to Arvind Kejriwal at this point of time, and therefore the reason perhaps yesterday the arrest was made after 12 members of team of Enforcement Directorate reached at Arvind Kejriwal's residence with a search warrant. Now, today as well, all eyes will be on the Supreme Court, where urgent hearing is being sought by the Aam Aadmi Party lawyers as well. And whether that will happen before Arvind Kejriwal is produced to the Rouse Avenue Court or at a later stage is something that remains to be seen. But the ED officials, as far as the sources within the Enforcement Directorate, clearly stating that at least 7 days to 10 days custody is something that they are demanding.
Okay, so ED officials, they're saying that the chief minister has to be taken in custody. He'll be appearing before the court, and then the formality of custody will happen then. Let me go back to Anurag, and I would request all the reporters to continue to be with us. Anurag, the charge of political vendetta. Just about every leader in opposition has one case or the other against him or her. That's also a truth.
I think that is true. But if you look at one thing, almost all leaders from India Alliance has condemned his arrest. But nobody has said that Arvind Kejriwal is honest and he has been framed falsely. One thing is also very apparent. I was looking at all the reactions, but nobody has said that Arvind Kejriwal is honest. Number two, if Arvind Kejriwal was honest, or we are not here to say honest or dishonest, but if everything is clean, then he would have appeared before ED on the first
Okay,
summon.
so that's a subject of argument, perhaps, and also some advice that was given to him by by his team of lawyers. Shri Rupa is also joining me, my colleague who's live with us from outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence. It has been a tough time. It is the beginning of tough times, I would say, for the family. Last evening, his wife and children were very much there when Mr. Kejriwal was taken into custody. Shri Rupa, what are you seeing right now? Are there barricading of his official home, and are there other Aam Aadmi Party leaders present as well, because we are being told that Rahul Gandhi and others could visit his family?
Well, Maria, we are currently at the CM residence, like you said. We are just outside, and you can see that there's a heavy barricading still here. However, there are no Aam Aadmi protests like we saw yesterday. It was very dramatic. However, police deployment remains. We spoke to a few officials. They were telling us that this deployment is just for safety, just in case the opposition party workers or leaders come across and they have to protest here. Now, we are also learning that Congress MP Rahul Gandhi is likely to meet Mr. Kejriwal's family members today, and it is supposed to happen at around 11. So it is to be seen what happens next and how it unfolds. Yesterday, this whole road had it was full of traffic, but right now it's not. But barricading is still here just as a protocol to ensure that the law and order in this area is maintained. Back to you.
In fact, the Delhi Metro has put out details that ITO metro station will remain closed through the day, in fact, from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. today, because of the advice which has been given by Delhi police. Demonstrations being planned by Aam Aadmi Party outside BJP's office at Deen Dayal Upadhyay Marg. This remains our top focus here on NDTV. I would like to thank my guests who made an effort to come here early morning. Lots more news and updates on the other side.